Chicago 45, the ones. We're sitting here with a awesome person, you know, this guy got a lot going on for himself, and actually, you know, there's a story behind what he's doing. So if you want to introduce yourself, go ahead, introduce yourself, sir.
What's going on, y'all? Jerome, you can just call me Rome, really. So I really go by nowadays. CEO of a brand that I built in 2015. Pretty much, that's pretty much what I got for myself right now. Just, you know, we in the building process. Things are on the come up though, man. It's been a lot better now. So I'm proud of that, man. I'm glad that, you know, people like you out there able to see that and want to, you know, use your platform to put it out there, man. So glad to, you know what I'm saying, be sitting with you.
Man, hey, he's doing more than just what he's saying. Don't let him trick y'all. Like he said, this is Rome, man. Rome is one of the big homies from back home, Chicago, West Side 290 to be exact.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I currently live in California. I get a lot of people that like, oh man, where you from? Like, man, I'm from Chicago, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I am too. And then they hit me with the I'm from Rockford. Do we count that?
Man, you know what's crazy? Because you remember when I was short, that's where we moved to.
Yeah.
So, like, for me to come back, like, everybody was looking at me like, nah, you a Rockford kid now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't from Chicago no more. And I'm just like, man, I was here 6 years before I left. And, you know, we used to always spend the summers up there. So I would just say, like, for me, it count, you know. For everybody else that just been living in Rockford all their lives and maybe visited Chicago here and there, you know, that don't count.
That don't count right there.
That don't count. But I just want to make sure. Yeah, I still tell people, like, you know, I was born in Chicago, man. You know, you can't take that away from nobody. But Rockford is definitely my hometown too. You know, that's much respect for Rockford. You know, I was pretty much built in both cities, so like they just both home to me.
Okay. Hey, so like you said, you started a clothing brand.
Right.
It's called Lanor. It's, I ain't gonna lie.
Thank you for pronouncing that right, by the way, man. It's a lot of people that's just, oh, is that Lanor? And I'm just like,
how you get that?
Man. Well, how did I get?
No, I'm saying how they get Lanor.
I don't know, bro. It's a lot of people that could just look at it and be like, oh, Lenore. Or it's a lot of people that look at it and, you know, they just like Lanor. It don't have an E, so I'm looking at it like it's Lanor rather than Lenore. So I'm just like, oh, okay, you know. Hey, one of these days, we're gonna get to a point where everybody know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So.
I mean, like, I don't know if you know the artist, Black.
With the 6?
Yeah, he be like, people they be messing it up. They do it on purpose now. Like,
yeah, okay. So I watched that too.
You'll get to a point where they're gonna do it on purpose. But hey, at least they know what it is and what you bring it to the table.
Right, right.
So Lanor, I ain't gonna lie to you. The clothes, like I love the pieces that you put out. The pieces you put out, I'm like, man, you know what? When I get my stimulus check, I'm going to get that.
Hey, I'm going to man, look, we had a lot of customers when them stimulus hit, man.
I bet you did.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that we going through these times right now because, you know, I like to do like pop-ups, and I was definitely planning on like doing a bunch of pop-ups in the city, you know, to try to get out there a little bit more. And man, it's just everything just closed, and we still haven't like really created that communication with them yet, you know, to where I know people, and you know what I'm saying, like, so we just waiting till everything calm down. We just trying to do as well as we can, you know, online. So.
Okay. Hey, so Lanor, like, okay, what influenced this? Like, what triggered this in your brain to start a clothing brand? Give us that story if you can.
Well, okay, I'm gonna try to shorten it as best I can. Really, man, like from a youngin', bro, I was drawing shoes and stuff all the time, bro. Just that's what I used to do in school. I used to draw shoes. I never paid attention in class. Never was trying to hear what they was talking about. I just was in love with just shoes. And I remember it was a period of time in high school where like you had like Sean John out, you had like Black Label, you had all these black owners that had brands and stuff. So I was just like, man, that'd be cool, like to have my own brand one day. And you know, once you start hitting like sophomore, junior year and stuff like that, you start to fall into what everybody else got going on. You know, I was trying to play basketball and football and stuff then, so I kind of went away from it. And after my brother passed away, man, I kind of just started falling off a lot, you know what I'm saying? Just as far as like basketball, like I wasn't taking it serious enough. And man, when I hit 25, man, I like at this point, it was just, I wasn't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? I was working. I was paying my rent, paying my car note. You know, I was living like a regular civilian. I was cool with that. But man, I just knew it was something more I needed, bro. And with any piece of money I had left over, I would go to like thrift stores or just stores, bro. And I would just put these pieces together and I would just go to work, be dressed, and the freshest one there, bro, like literally. And every day I had people like kidding me like, bro, like you model, you make your own clothes or something, you know? And it had just dawned on me. It was like, damn, I remember when I was a kid, this is what I wanted to do. I used to always tell myself that. And I went and talked to a couple people, you know, tried to figure out like, cause I remember it was a girl who was making bags from scratch. And then it was another girl who actually could make like full pieces, like dresses and shit. So I was like, okay, these people I want to talk to. And the one that was making dresses, she was putting me on to these guys who were doing, like they were just making custom pieces from scratch and selling them for like these ridiculous prices. And I was like, man, that's dope, you know. And that's what I got into at first. I went and bought me a sewing machine the next day. Started doing it that way. It was crazy because, you know, she say for a lot of people it takes them a while to like come up with a name. And mine was like, before I even got the sewing machine, I already had the name figured out. You know, at first it was J. Lenore though, you know, and that's really from my brother's name. That's where that stemmed from. And I just broke it down to Lenore because it gave me, I don't know, I've always been attracted to like those one word names that just sound good, like Gucci, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, Balenciaga, like those names sound good to me. And Lenore was just like right in the pocket for it. So I just broke it down to that. And pretty much that's what like got me into it, man. I started looking more and more into fashion. I didn't go to school for it. I learned a lot of stuff on YouTube.
Yeah. How is the day-to-day work and the day-to-day grind? Because I mean, it's a lot of things that you don't know. I mean, going into this space, and some things you do know, but it's going to be a lot of potholes that you may run into.
Yeah, man. Man, the day-to-day work is very hectic, man, because it's like when you don't know a lot, you kind of tend to like ease off the gas a little bit because you just don't know so much, you know? But then you look at it and you see all these other brands on Instagram and all the social media platforms and all this stuff, man, they really going hard, you know? And it's just like, okay, fuck that. I can't let up. So I got to be doing something every single day, man. Rather it's designing something, rather it's looking up something, information I don't know. Then you got the business half of it to where you got to know the business. It's man, it's definitely hectic, man.
How hard is that the learning the business part? Because I mean, obviously you're an artist in your mind. You're an artist.
Yeah.
But then as a CEO, you can't just be the artist. You got to be like the business savvy guy. Like how is that for you?
That's probably the hardest transition I'm trying to make, is finding that balance between me being creative and me being a businessman, you know, because like literally no schooling on this, bro, like no schooling. But I do believe that you can achieve anything with just the knowledge. And it's people out there that probably even went to school that don't mind giving you the knowledge, but you got to find them people. Right now I had a guy that just joined my crew, man. His name was Najee, and he real good with numbers. So like we do a lot of like, when we meet, we do a lot of writing numbers down, and he's like walking me through a lot of stuff, you know? So I made him the VP of the company because it's just like, okay, you need pieces like that added to your team. And I'm so hands-on that it makes it easier for him, because I don't like for him to do things without my knowing, you know? I don't like for anybody, you could be sewing something and I just like to know exactly what you're doing so I know that it's being done right. So yeah, but it's definitely difficult as fuck, bro. Like you gotta, I'm sorry if I'm cussing too much.
No, you're fine. You're fine. No, you're fine, man.
Okay.
Hey, this is Chicago 45, man. Chicago's one of the realest places in the world.
Okay,
You're
cool.
good. You're fine.
Because I was so like, man, I don't know if you're finna bleep. Like,
oh no, you're fine.
Yeah, but man, I think that once you find that balance though, man, it could become easier, but it's always going to be a difficult task, man, because as a creator, you always want to be creating something new. You get inspired. You know what I'm saying? I can damn near get inspired by this right here, you know,
Okay.
and just get to going with all these ideas and stuff. So finding that balance is, I would say, my most difficult task in this whole thing.
Okay. All right. So we all lived through a pandemic, COVID. You spoke a little bit about like not being able to do the pop-up shops and kind of like do the door-to-door action pretty much, as far as like the same way they will hustle CDs, you got to hustle with the clothing line.
Exactly.
So with the COVID locking us all in the house, like what are some of the other like things you're trying to do like to promote the brand? I know it's hard, but I know you got to be thinking of something.
Man, right now the only thing that could really help us is to within our community, we know a couple of people that could, you know, help us with things that we like might need help with as far as like business side of it. But as far as anything else, man, I was watching Steve Jobs. I was watching a Steve Jobs interview, man, and this dude was talking about how they put most of their money into marketing. You know, because you can be creating all you want, if don't nobody see it, you ain't gonna really create that customer base. So I would say that the thing we've been trying to work on the most is building that customer base. So we trying to focus on marketing a little bit more right now.
Okay. All right. So COVID ain't stopping the show. That's what I'm hearing.
No, COVID ain't stopping the show at all. You know, I mean, I think that the internet sales for most brands kind of went up because, you know, you got people getting these stimmies, and you got people who just got money in general, who just, you know, love shopping. So now they ain't got to go nowhere. They just do it right online. So that's where I feel like we're trying to attack.
I think I want to ask this question because I know there's always a misconception in the fashion world as far as like, are you an urban streetwear or are you like high? What's the word? High.
So high-end fashion.
High-end fashion. Like what is this brand?
So my brand is more a high-end fashion brand, but because of like us in the building process and less resources right now, it will come off as like an urban streetwear. And an urban streetwear is really not far from a high-end fashion brand. So I don't mind being in that like realm right now. But I know once like with us opening our bank account, us, you know, starting to get into this business side, like I said, man, I know like it's gonna take us from that urban streetwear to high-end fashion, where I see like, you know what I'm saying, as you heard me earlier mention, like brands like Gucci or Balenciaga and stuff like that. They're not my inspiration, I would say, but they just sit on a very high like pedestal in fashion, I would say. You know what I'm saying? Like people look at these brands like, oh, these like top brands, you know what I'm saying?
Can your urban brand, like can an urban street apparel wear be at that notch without being high-end flat fashion?
Absolutely. I think so.
I mean, you got things like 10 Deep that's a big one. Hundreds is a big one, right? Those are some top notch.
Those are some really big streetwear brands, though. I would say like Supreme. You know, Supreme are urban high-end fashion to me because of the collabs that they do with like Louis Vuitton and stuff like that. So I would say that's more of a high-end street fashion brand.
Okay.
Like with that urban style, you know what I mean?
Okay. I wanna get your take on how it was growing up in Chicago.
Man.
Like, does that mentality of like the Chicago, being Chicagoan, run into your business?
I would say it does, because a lot of the stuff that you might see and the clothes that I'm putting out is Chicago-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like it's just home. This is where I'm from, so I gotta add that little twist to it. And growing up there, man, it was rough. It was rough times and it was just good times. You know, as kids, we didn't really think about all the rough times like that, man. But from my mom moving us to Rockford, for me seeing how Rockford is, to like going back to Chicago in the summer was like, damn, this completely different. Like it's places I can't just walk to by myself no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I gotta have my cousins with me, and it's just like things like that, man, made it extremely tough to just like feel free. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of felt like boxed in a little bit with just not having that complete freedom. But anytime we was all in the neighborhood though, man, it was always fun. You know?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we did a lot of creative stuff then too.
Hey, so I mean, I lived it my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even like, cause I'm not like I'm now getting into like what I'm wearing and how it looks. Like it got to be like this way. Even when I was back home, they would make fun of me. Like, man, you just like you from California, man. What you putting all these colors and all this stuff together?
Hey, man.
What is the Chicago like style like? What is that? Like, how does that look like fashion wise? What's the fashion scene?
Man, I mean, we was more like that urban. We was more like that urban streetwear style, man. Like the Pellies, the Forces. You know what I'm saying? I think we would probably got it to the tight jeans before everybody else was doing it. You know what I'm saying? Man, the jumpsuits for sure.
Okay.
Definitely had to have a couple jumpsuits, the Adidas jumpsuits.
Yeah.
And then you always had like the high end fashion there too. You know, from stores like Saks Fifth and Neiman's and all that stuff, just being there. But to be honest, man, we was with the big coats, the nice fitted jeans, some J's or some Forces.
You get Forces, you be cool. You play the little Nelly in the background, stepping in my air.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like we was cool, man. That was it, man. Get you a nice little fitted cap or a dad hat, you were straight.
Okay. Hey, so I mean, I'm a hoop in my brain, but now I'm getting in this space of trying to be like an interviewee or interviewer, however you want to call it. I know who I look like, who I'm looking at, and like trying to like, damn, I like that. Like I like the Sway, I like the Charlamagne the Gods. I even like Joe Rogan. So I'm watching those guys like religiously as far as like, man, how do they that craft. Who like I know you say you're looking at the Balenciagas and things like that. But who are some of like the ones that you're like your eyes on and you're like, I want a little bit of something like that, but not I want to imitate it, but I'm looking for them as influence.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean. Like Balenciaga and Gucci are like more on like some. I just want to be sharing that space with them.
Yeah, in that
I'm
realm.
not necessarily saying it's like that because I'm not a big fashion show person. But man, I would say brands like Fear God, Jerry Lorenzo does his thing, man. That's probably one of my biggest inspirations because he had just this little spark in time where he, man, was the wave, bro. You could see it in every brand. You could see it in just every regular person was wearing this. And in other brands like Rude and Amiri, even in Yeezy, I can't forget Yeezy. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely the brands I like see myself where I'm like studying and being like, okay, y'all have like the similar type of clothing that I would like to make. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of just look at that and just try to figure out how I can achieve getting my own look out of that.
Okay. Well, I'm learning so much. Like I think the first person I heard speak about fashion at a crazy level was A$AP Rocky.
Yeah, man. A$AP Rocky is definitely he probably one of the biggest influencers like to date, besides after Kanye, I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
But for like the youth right now, like wise, like it definitely, A$AP Rocky is one of the biggest, I would say. The stuff he just had, bro, like kind of was putting you in that like all these non-people, like the people you wasn't even hearing of, like Rick Owens and all them, you know what I'm saying? You just like, man, who is that? And then you go look it up and you like, this kind of fly. You know what I'm saying? Certain pieces of it. Some of these people are a little, they way too creative, for me. Like I would just say I wasn't putting nothing like that together. Me personally, man, I just want my brand to fit in your closet. Just like Jerry Lorenzo said, it's just got to fit in your closet. It might be a day where you going out where you like, man, I need a graphic tee, man, to go into this flannel or something. I'm trying to be that graphic tee or that flannel, you know what I'm saying, that you choosing when you go out. You know what I'm saying? The oversized hoodie look. That's like those things like are like real dear to me because like growing up, like I say to my dad left, him and my mom got divorced. I would say that the look they had, you know, was kind of like what spoke to me a lot because they used to be so cool. You know, they used to have a nice little cars. You should sit with their little gold chains on, you know what I'm saying? Like their little J's, they got the little oversized tees or hoodies, nice little baggy pants. I mean, we more in a fitted era now where I kind of am off the baggy stuff, but
oh man, that was
yeah, man.
Them pictures back at it. What? I blame Lil Wayne and them. I blame Lil Wayne and them boys.
I do blame them, man. But I was definitely looking at these little 38s and 40s I was buying. Like, bro, what was you thinking?
I'm like, the Jabos had to be big. I'm like, why?
Yeah, just everything, man.
Hey,
But
it's crazy how time works. You know how it
absolutely.
was back in the 80s. It was more or 70s. It was fitted.
Mm-hmm.
And then it rolled to baggy, and then it's flipped to, you know, fitted. And now we're getting the oversized hoodies, we're getting the big shirts. So we slowly getting back to that, but more of like a cool stylistic way. It's not very tall tees.
It's real modernized now, you know what I'm saying? Like you just like, all right, this actually look good. You know what I'm saying? Like you go back there, you look at that picture, you like, man, hold on, man. I don't know what we was thinking.
So side note, back to Lanor. You're not just screen printing stuff. This is you talked about stitching and like you're an actual creator. Like this is not like let me just get a logo and stamp it on everything. You're real, like
man. So I started off sewing first, man. But my thing is I feel like you losing more money or you not getting enough money to like pretty much live off of it when you making so many custom pieces for people. Like, yeah, you can sell them at these super high prices because you did it by yourself. You did it by hand. But I want the masses, like I'm very I think global. I think that them over in the UK, over in Paris, all that stuff, they need that too, you know? Yeah. So I kind of slowed down from sewing right now to like get into a space where like that urban streetwear space. When we do this next drop, you'll see a lot of looks rather than me just showing you a piece. You'll see a look, and that's what I'm getting to now. Is I'm gonna start creating the looks, and then once we get it to where we got a couple manufacturers out in Chicago that we are gonna meet with when all this stuff starts to die down. But we definitely about to get into that realm where we're gonna be back to like cut and sew. Because I definitely don't want to give people that impression that this is what we do. Now, we love, like me personally, I love graphic tees. I've always had to have a graphic tee. So we still going to be doing screen printing. But it's just not going to be to that capacity to where you just like, you see some screen print on a hoodie all the time. You know, I like those simple pieces where you could just like, you see like a straight, just black hoodie with the nice cut to it. Something you could just throw on with anything, you know?
Okay. And so what's the the way you're going, like as far as like how do you get these ideas out? Like what is the process? Like what is your working process as far as creating the design piece? Like
okay, so at first it was pretty much just whatever came to mind. I was just, you know, I got my iPad, my pencil, and I just get to drawing some stuff or taking inspiration from something. Now I'm more into like, okay, what season is we kind of getting into? Okay. And trying to be like ready to drop before that season starts. You know what I'm saying? So my design process is pretty much just like, okay, like I said, with what season coming? Oh, okay, we got fall coming, hoodies, flannels, layers. That's what I'm thinking. So I pretty much just try to put that look together on how I think that I want to look more so than me trying to make anybody else look like anything. Because I design for myself at the end of the day. I always think that if it's something I'm missing, I just want to create it so I can just have it myself. But I know that there's a lot of people out there that can't dress, you know, and it's no disrespect to them. It's just, that's not your forte. And, you know, I try to create for them too. Like, hey, here's, you know, you got the person that go in the store, they buy the mannequin. I'm trying to create that mannequin for them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's pretty much my whole process, is like just trying to figure out what look I'm going for and adding certain pieces to it to bring it all together. That way, like, it looks like something. It's more art than like me creating that t-shirt that you have on and just slapping it on there and just being like, oh yeah, you know, I'm a designer. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just try to pretty much bring a look out. And if I'm inspired by a look, I try to recreate that.
2021 coming. Mm-hmm. What's the goal? Like, should we be expecting anything?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I'm looking. My goal is to pretty much be in people's face all year. Mm. So, I mean, it don't always go that way, but that's what the goal is, you know. And if I can, you know, I dropped twice this year already, and that's the most I've like dropped in 1 year. Normally I would drop once and I would wait till the next year and I would, you know, build something else, try to come up with some creative idea to present to the world. But now we get in a space of like trying to build that customer base. So I plan on trying to just like I said, be in a face all year. If I can drop 3 times this year and have them spaced out, that'd be love. But definitely the goal is at least 5.
Okay. All right, man. Hey, I appreciate you. I see a shirt back there that maybe my size back there. I'm being nosed. That look like that could be my size back there.
Yeah, we got a couple of them, man. I'll show you some of these.
Yeah. Is this the Viper one? I love the Viper.
Yeah, this the Viper joint, man. Just something, like I said, for like underneath a flannel, you know. This one was built intentionally for you to like have as a layer. But when you like get hot, you take the layer off, you got a nice little graphic on the back. Okay. You know.
But, and that one, yeah, and it's the spicy one right here. That's the spicy one.
Yeah, so this one, man, this one was like, for me, I was thinking of like you going out, you want that pop. You know what I'm saying? You looking for somebody to be looking at you.
Can you show it again? Show it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got the little rhinestones here on the skull face, created in a heart, you know.
Yeah, Chicago for bloody rhinestones.
Man, bro. You know who? Ed Hardy, I think.
Ed Hardy.
Ed Hardy inspired me on the rhinestone tip, man. I always thought they just had that poppy like stuff. Like you go out somewhere and you get all these diamonds or just rhinestones just flashing in people's eyes, and they got to look at you. So that was my thought process when I was creating that.
Hey, I want to thank you for hopping on with me, man. He's drinking wine. Oh, what kind of wine are you drinking?
Oh man, this just some Moscato, man. This some sweet wine. That's all I had in the refrigerator left. I done drunk everything else.
Hey, we've been on quarantine. I done pick up some bottles a day, man. I just been like drinking wine.
Well, see, that's why this is the last bottle I done got, so I gotta go and re-up my damn self.
You gotta re-up.